Do you think that the Palm Bay, Florida real estate market is doomed due to all of this new development inventory that's hitting? Or do you think that we're going to be seeing a lot more positive outcomes? Let's jump right into it. But before we do, make sure to hit that subscribe and like button to get more real estate content for the Palm Bay, Florida, Brevard County, and Florida and general markets. All right, guys, let's go. Just to start off, we're going to hit the cons and then we're going to hit the pros. Number one on my list when it comes to the cons, we have a load of inventory flooding into this market. We have hundreds and hundreds of units being released, if not daily, at least monthly. What this really means for our community is that we're seeing more competition on the sales side as well as the rental side. I mean, just this past November alone, there was around 7 months of inventory on the residential market. And that's crazy considering the fact that a buyer's market is anything above 6 months of inventory. So that goes to show you that we are currently in a buyer's market when it comes to the residential sales. And that's great for buyers considering for so many years and during that pandemic craze, and SBA nonsense and everything else that was happening, we had an influx in sales price. So now what we're seeing more of, even though homes are still at historically high prices, is we are starting to see a lot more competition and more affordability coming into the market. The more competitively priced that you are, the better that you have a chance of being able to sell your property or be able to lease it. Now, the other con that I would have to say is that because we have this flood in inventory, it's making a lot of people struggle to not only be able to sell their homes, but also be able to lease them. Okay, so what ends up happening is when you can't sell your property, you end up trying to rent it because that's going to be your exit strategy. Okay, your exit strategy means if your exit plan A doesn't work, you have B, C, and D to fall back on. Now, usually backup plan or exit strategy B would be to lease the property if it can't be liquidated or sold. Okay, and what happens is when we see so much inventory flooding the market and then it goes into that rental market, a lot of people end up in a situation where we can't get A or B to work. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to happen to everyone, but I am saying that I am seeing some people have this happen to them. More so specifically for the owners who are at an all-time high on their monthly principal, interest, taxes, and insurance mortgage payment. Okay, meaning your new construction 4-bedroom house that you're paying $2,800 on the mortgage for is not able to get that on the rental side. I mean, rents right now have been decreasing like crazy, and it's just astronomically unfathomable. So essentially what we're seeing this year is a slowdown in those units, and it's because we have now so many people with units. Okay, but on the residential rental side, leasing side, we're still technically in a landlord market. However, because we have all this inventory coming, it's going to start to affect that. Okay, you can't have one without the other, and eventually they both end up kind of syncing up and leveling out. Okay, I'm really hoping this level out happens so we can have more stable of a market rather than just buyer tenant market, to the extreme that we had seen, but for the sellers and landlords during the pandemic. Now, additionally, another con I would like to get into is because we have so much inventory hitting the markets today, we don't necessarily have the infrastructure here to be able to have that much units. Okay, we are trying to build the infrastructure, and I see that the city has been working like almost every single day at trying to build out the infrastructure. So I just want the city officials to know that that doesn't go unseen. But just currently the structure is not there yet. Okay, a lot of the canal systems need to be widened and or lowered when it comes to the current capacity that we're at. The fact that we have turds, yes, literal turds, in rivers and canal systems in the back of people's properties, that's very concerning still. And considering that that's already happening at the current level that we have in our community, I don't think that that is something we should, have forever. Especially not if we're going to be expanding the way that we are. We've had multiple Publixes either go under development for full build out or they've already been built. We have a lot of retail, we have a lot of commercial coming. Now, I really think that we need a lot more commercial retail, commercial office space more than anything, and a little bit more variety of the storefronts. I mean, it's great to have Publix. I love Publix so much. It's one of my favorite stores. But I do think that a little bit of competition would be better, just considering the fact that having the same exact brand everywhere is just redundant and ridiculous. And it also makes it so the competition is not really like, you know what I'm saying? It's not there. However, I think that if we brought more inventory towards the office spaces and, the retail, I think that that would help lower the current commercial leasing prices for, the small businesses who are continuously rotating and turning over because they can't afford the current lease values. Now, again, I'm really hoping that the amount of people that are coming to the area due to the new development that's underway for the residential side of things, it helps to bring more competition and just really makes it a lot more better in so many ways rather than seeing just what we're seeing as of now. Because I feel like what is happening now is we're looking at the market and we're going, there's this flood of residential inventory. How the hell are we going to, have all these people? And then there's not really much to do here. There's not much to do in the entertainment sense, and a lot of our entertainment businesses, they go out of business because of the fact that the leasing for the commercial spaces are so expensive. And then those landlords are just so greedy. It's just like, holy shit, Like, the community doesn't really have much to do. And the ones that were here before all of this nonsense are really the ones that are withstanding a lot of that, considering that they didn't get taken out during COVID. Now, I know that this has been mainly focusing on the negative, so I do want to go into the positives as well. Some of the positives for the local market is that we are going to be seeing a larger community, and this is great because more people does mean more opportunities. I am a firm believer of this. I really do feel that when we have the larger community, it brings a lot more competition to the markets, and that's for every single market and industry that is here. I do think that there's a lot more affordability that comes with that as well, because the more supply we have in a context, the more demand falls, okay? And what we've been struggling with over these past few years is the fact that supply in many markets has been at an all-time low, and demand has been so high because we saw such an influx of financial buildup for many people in the last couple of years, whether that be it because their business took off, maybe they had to shut down a business and made a new business that was more successful, or maybe, just statistically speaking, people are making more than they once did. So considering this, I think that it's just a great time for us to position ourselves in the sense of stability and growth. I do feel that when we're going into the investment market, especially for real estate, that we have to be very cautious right now. And I think that by seeing this flood in inventory, it's actually showing us the risk that is present, okay? And I know a lot of people are probably like, what do you mean, the risk? But like for investors specifically, we really need to be aware of the fact that our market is still at a just astonishingly high market price, okay? Houses are super high in pricing, and historically high. I mean, so I do not feel like the values of the properties are necessarily going to hold. I'm a firm believer. Now, again, this is just my opinion. This is not like a foresight. Okay, take it how you may. But I do feel like what goes up must have to come down. And I really just think it's a part of the ebbing and flowing of the real estate market. So when we are seeing this flood of inventory, I think it's a telltale sign for us to go, okay, well, we should proceed with caution. Okay, we should really look at our numbers. We should consider if there's any depreciation in the context of a market correction or stabilization per se. I do not think that jumping into the highest priced property at this point is the best option for many people, just considering the fact that considering prices are at an all-time high on top of 6%, 7% plus interest, depending on what type of loan you're getting. Your mortgage is also at a historically high rate. I'll tell you, I told somebody from an older generation how much the homes were selling today for and what the mortgage on that was, because I'm paying about $3,000 for my property. And I told them this and they were like, what? They couldn't believe the amount of money that some of us are paying, and I know many other people that are paying up to $10,000, $20,000 rent for their property. And it's just like, how, not rent, but mortgage for their property. And it's like, how do you expect to come in a market that is basically buyers and buy at the top value and expect there not to be any drop in price or like competition, considering we are in a buyer's market with 7 months of inventory per SCAR MLS, summary reports. So, and that's not inclusive of anything that's off market. Okay, you have to also account for the off market properties. I've done hundreds of units and closings when it comes to either renting or selling or vacation homes or whatever you want to consider. And I can tell you that there is a lot more competition now. So this is good for renters. This is a good market for buyers and investors who are looking to pick up good deals. There's definitely gems in this market. It's just not every single property is a gem. And I really just encourage my investors specifically to be analyzing their finances a lot closer than anything else. I really think this is the time for us to be looking at the finances closely and reducing unnecessary expenses and costs, whether or not that has to be with better planning on maintenance and management or repairs or just overall purchasing. I purchased this property, I'm about to purchase another, but I also decided that I'm going to get rid of 2 of my vehicles, and I've already got rid of them, and I'm going to get rid of my other one as well, and I'm just going to downgrade to just 1 vehicle because what's the point of having so many vehicles in this type of market and economy? I think that right now is a great time to stabilize and from there build. Okay, I do not think it's the time to be greedy. I don't think it's the time to be like, I can have it all, because don't get me wrong, you absolutely can with the right planning and stabilization being considered and enforced. So I really just feel like on the pro side that this is a time for growth and stability and minimizing rather than maximizing. Now, I could tell you that there will come a time where we can definitely see a prime time for purchasing, okay? Because I feel that we've already gone over the height of our market here. So I really just feel that only good things are to come. Now, the new construction that has been flooding the market, and I mean, you guys can see it every single where, it's going to teach us a lot. I do feel like we need to slow down a little bit on the residential development just because we're seeing a lot of it very quickly here in Palm Bay. While it's beneficial in some ways and not beneficial in others, just from like a local standpoint, I really like the nature of Palm Bay, like the actual nature landscape that Palm Bay has had to offer. And I feel like just coming in and destroying all of this nature and land is, it's acceptable to an extent, but at some point we should also be putting a little bit of restrictions on this, just considering the fact that, we all kind of need some trees to breathe, clean air. Um, I'm all for new development and growth in a community, but I do feel that we also need the nature here, okay, as locals, because it does come with benefits. Wolf spiders and black widows, maybe not, but I love the nature here. It's very beautiful and peaceful here, and I don't think that we should be focusing on overcrowding our community. I think that we should be focused on bettering the infrastructure, bringing in a little bit more commercial opportunities, and also just building up the affordability and options that we have available to us now. I think on the residential new development, we've kind of hit that max. That's just my own opinion. D.R. Horton, KB Homes, LGI, Adams, and every single builder in between who is entering into this market, they're releasing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of units, thousands of units. And it's a lot, okay? And we're definitely, if that momentum keeps up at the pace that we're seeing right now, it's going to get harder and harder for every single person that owns an older home, okay? I'm already seeing it happen today, and I just know for a fact if that keeps happening and we keep seeing that level of development, that it's not only just going to affect the residential sales more, it's also going to end up affecting the rental side of things. So this is kind of really what I have to say and offer on this subject at this point. Right now it's November 2024. December now. Holy shit, this year went by fast. But yeah, if you're trying to get into real estate investing, doing the new construction method, I highly suggest looking into multifamily more so than the single family, just because of the cost of everything right now. While I do understand positioning cash into real estate to hold, your money there, I just don't think that right now is the time to be buying single families as an investment. I would wait until the pricing corrects itself a little bit more and drops off a little bit more. I do think it's a great time to invest in land. I think it's a great time to invest in the commercial opportunities that we have here, and just kind of expand on those. We really need affordable officing and affordable housing, right? So if you have affordable rentals, superb. If you have affordable housing to hit the market for sale, great. Still a pristine time to sell, okay? If you have affordable options for commercial opportunities as well, this is also very good. So a lot of what this market really is looking for is just that affordability factor, okay? So chasing the high-end value items, I do not think is a great option in this type of market, and I think that you're basically jumping on a sinking ship. I hate to say, but that's just my 2 cents working in this market every single day for the last, I don't even know how long. I've been in this business 6 years now, almost. Going on 6 years. So, I mean, yeah, if you guys are interested in buying, if you need property management, if you need help selling your business, if you need help selling your property, definitely hit us up, 201-952-4665. You can text us, call us. You can also email us at broker@localpmc.com. We're always happy to help you guys. We are a full service property management company. We have our Community Association Management License, CAM, and we also help commercial. I personally specialize in multifamily. I love multifamily apartments, garden apartments, even the larger complex. So we're very skilled and educated in a lot of these subjects. Leasing, your girl was top 1%. I have to pat myself on the back. It was a very big accomplishment, okay? Because when I started, it was from nothing to something, okay? So Thank you guys for tuning in, and if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe and bell icon. And please, if you have any questions, comments, or would like us to touch base on any other subject, covering real estate investing, or anything in between, please comment down below. We'd love to hear from you guys, and thank you again for supporting our channel, and we look forward to seeing you guys in the market. Keep up the great work, and may you guys have a never-ending abundance of joy and blessings, and happy holidays. All right, guys. See you on the next one. Bye.